Hey guys, what's going on? It's Cody here. This video is going to be about the Texas rig and my suggestions on it, so let's get to it. Alrighty guys, so before I begin Texas rigging these lures and talking about what lures I use exactly, I'm going to show you guys which weights I use and hooks I use. So let me turn the camera around real quick. Okay guys, so the weights I use are a 3/16 ounce bullet weight and a 4/0 offset extra wide gap hook. So, and then these are the lures I'm going to be showing you guys how to Texas rig right now. These are my favorite lures to Texas rig. So, as I was saying, the only thing different from the way I Texas rig than the normal Texas rig is honestly just going to be the size of the weight. In my opinion, I prefer a smaller, lighter weight, a 3/16 ounce weight. But anything heavier than that is perfectly okay too. So first, let me talk about the hook. So the 4/0 hook I use is, in my opinion, I think this is the perfect size for almost any lure, except if you're getting into like the 10-inch worm range. Then you're gonna need to go up a size or two. But this is just the size hook that I always use. So let me show you guys how I Texas rig these 5-inch finesse worms that are watermelon red. So I start by getting the bottom of the worm, which is the flat side, facing the hook, and all I do is put the hook tip in up until the barb. Once I get the barb in, I'm going to pop the hook back out like that. I'm going to slide the worm up. Once I get to this bend in the hook, I'm going to twist the hook, or you could twist the lure, whichever, they both work the same, and then I'm going to keep sliding the worm up until all that's left is the eye on the hook. So this is pretty much what you want your Texas rig to look like. So now that I have the worm there, now all I'm going to do is put the hook back inside the worm to complete the rig. Okay, and there you have a Texas rig finesse worm. I also wouldn't recommend leaving the hook tip exposed, just because if it's exposed, you're gonna get it's gonna pick up some weeds on there. So what I normally do is put the hook tip back inside the worm like that. So now it's Texas rigged, but the hook tip isn't exposed, so it's going to be completely weedless for sure. So that's how I Texas rig these 5-inch finesse worms. My next favorite lure to Texas rig is are these little creature baits. These are amazing to Texas rig, and my favorite colors to use are green pumpkin and also watermelon red. I have one here that's California, but it looks very similar to watermelon red. So for these, you're going to do the same thing. I have the bottom of the lure, which is where all these little bumps are, is going to face the hook. I'm going to put the hook tip inside, just where the barb is, and then I'm going to pop the hook back out. Same idea, slide it all the way up. Once I get to the bend, exact same thing. I'm going to twist the hook, and then slide the lure up over the bend. Alright, and just the same way up until I see the eye of the hook. And so that's how I'm going to want it to look. Right now I haven't put the hook inside, so it's just free like this. I'm going to want the hook to be around right here on the lower body. So I'm going to push up on the creature bait and then slide the hook through. Alright, just as so. So the hook is exposed, and just like I did with the finesse worms, I'm going to put the hook tip back inside the lure. And there you go. Texas rigging these creature baits. And with these I use the same weight, same 3/16 ounce weight. That's just when I started bass fishing, that was the weight that I used first, and I've just stuck with it ever since. I think it's just a pretty good weight to use. You might want to use a heavier weight depending on how windy or depending on the conditions you're fishing, but that's just my starter. So, and the last lure I'm gonna Texas rig is same creature bait, just this is the different color, and this is the one that was similar to watermelon red. It's called the color is California. So I'm gonna do the same thing. This one I'm just gonna do it a little bit faster. So same idea as before. It's pretty much a normal Texas rig. And then I'm gonna put the hook through. And then put the hook tip back inside. So let me turn the camera around, that way you guys can see what it looks like up close. So there's the hook. The hook tip is back inside the lure. And then here's what it looks like. So normally for these creature baits, what I always do is, let me set the camera back down. With the creature baits, when I'm Texas rigging them, or I'm putting them on my jigs as a trailer, or I'm pretty much just using them in general, what I like to do is before I cast them out, I always get some scissors and clip the center. Let me pick these up. I clip the center two little legs, if you want to call them, all the way up until the fork, and I clip them in half. That way these two get split into two, so there's like 4 of these in the center, and then these little side arms, if you want to call them, I leave those as they are. And the only reason why I clip those in half is just to get as much action as possible. And then when I'm using these for trailers, I'll usually just get some scissors. I'll do the same thing to the arms, but the only thing different is I'll get some scissors and I'll cut right here, right where this part of the body like ends, and then I'll just put that on as a trailer for my jigs, and that's the perfect setup for bass fishing pretty much any time. I'd use the watermelon red colors and California like this one well, you can use them in any color water. I mean, watermelon red's, in my opinion, one of the best colors. But I'd use these in a darker, dirtier water, and I'd use these in a clearer water. The green pumpkin in a clear water, and watermelon red, California in a dirtier water. Just because the little red specks or the glitter will stand out a lot more if you use it in dirtier water. That's just my opinion. And there you go. That's how you Texas rig a finesse worm and some creature baits. Alrighty guys, so that's it for the video. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I also I changed the name of my channel from Angler Lifestyle to Angler Life, and I also made an Instagram account, so go check that out. I'll put that in the description below. If you want to see me do more videos like this, let me know in the comments. Alrighty, bye guys.